today we're doing a different kind of video compared to my other stuff. I've recently been super inspired to draw really flowy and swishy dresses for practice, so I thought I could film the process and make like a fun speed paint / process video. I have 5 general stages when I do digital art. I will jump from stage to stage sometimes, but generally it's these 5. Stage 1, this is brainstorming ideas and figuring out what I want to make. Stage 2, this is sketching and line art. Stage 3 is flat, and stage 4 is shading, and then finally stage 5 is final touches. So stage 1, this is where I usually figure out what I want to draw. Usually I go on Pinterest for post ideas or browse through my references folder in Instagram. Then I either make something up for the outfit or again look at references on Pinterest or Google, etc. This is when I start to really flesh out my idea into a solid drawing. I like to do really rough shapes and then sort of sharpen them as I go as much as possible, especially with digital art, because I want to keep some of the details from the sketch and make sure it makes it into the final piece. I do this step on my iPad because I'm still getting used to my drawing tablet and the iPad just gives me way more control. After getting the full sketch finished, I scale it up. I do my line art and then I just sort of make corrections as I go along. For flats, I use clipping to get the big general shape, and I like to use really eyesore and sort of contrasting colors so it's easier to figure out where I've missed a spot and might need to go over again. Then I start coloring all the different bits by color, starting from like the most behind or the lowest layer, and then sort of working my way up so I don't have to erase as much than if I did it randomly. Shading usually takes the longest time. I'm still learning how to blend and like pick good colors for like shadows or highlights. So sometimes I like to restart my shading process when I overblend or I find like a better color match. I also use a watercolor brush to blend everything out and get that very nice and smooth look. I also shade on the same layer as my flats, and some people are going to call me evil for this, but I don't care. It works. I'm not gonna stop doing it just because other people are angry. Finally, I add my final touches. These are the little details like shading the eyes and the background. Usually I try to keep the background very simple and not have too many things that might distract or take away from the main subject. Sometimes if I'm feeling really fancy, I'll pick contrasting colors so that the subject really pops. But here I was really lazy, so I just picked some similar colors and then I slapped on a pattern brush at 30% opacity in the background. Sometimes after finishing the whole piece, I'm not super satisfied with it, so I proceed on to the next final secret step. Experimentation, baby! This is usually when I decide to rethink key elements of my piece and try to exert as much control over it as I can. Here you can see me deciding that I should add an entire pattern to the dress for absolutely no reason, and you can also see me looking up some last-minute references on Google. I copy-pasted the pattern a few times until it resembled something kind of decent, and then I just set it to a clipping layer. I fiddled with the different layer blending modes until it looks somewhat normal because I don't know how to shape the patterns and I'm too lazy to learn how to.